I'm pretty sure my boss stole my identity. There are 2 new credit cards on my credit report with a total balance of about $15,000. My credit score has dropped from a 805 to a 550, and I was written up when I confronted him about it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. Trigger warnings for financial fraud and identity theft. So the original post comes from May 15th.
I don't think those trigger warnings are necessary.
Yeah, it just says that. Original post is from May 15th. I work for a relatively small business. There's only about 50 of us, and I've been working here for about 3 years. The owner of the business I know has been stressed out over the financials for the last 6 months. We've gone from fairly profitable to slightly unprofitable since December. Since I've worked here, I can think of a 2-month span of time that the business hasn't been profitable. But even then, we were only down a couple $1,000s total on that second month. Well, back in January, we had our worst month since I've worked here, and it only improved slightly for February. The credit cards on my credit report were opened in February and looked to have been maxed out by March. Fast forward to last week, and my boss, the owner of the company, is out of the office for a day, and a coworker grabbed the mail. It had a discovery bill with my name on it. She gave it to me, and I was extremely confused. It was definitely my name, but the company's address with the suite designated solely for my boss. I opened it up and found out that I owe more than $10,000, and my payments are more than 2 months late. I called Discovery, and they emailed me a description of the charges, about a dozen of them, all with the headings of my company. It was clear someone ordered a card in my name and literally paid my company about $10,000 from the card back to early March. Of course, I was livid and immediately disputed all the charges. I checked my credit report, and there was another card which seemed to have been opened around the same time with more than a $5,000 balance. I called the bank, and they sent me the transaction list. Same thing. At this point, I was pretty sure it was my boss, as I know he has access to my social security number from my hiring paperwork, and the address to both cards was his suite number in the building. As I'm talking with my work group about it, someone else said that they had their identity stolen in January, but they got it taken care of through TransUnion. They said the charges went to a supplier of ours. Turns out there was a third employee from our work group of 5 who had their credit stolen at the start of the year when they checked their credit after hearing us talking about it. For whatever reason, they are having that credit card company send them the statement as they couldn't be emailed. Last Wednesday, I confronted my boss about the credit cards, and he denied everything. He said whoever it was probably just used the work address because they have found it through my LinkedIn. He also said to wait 120 days before disputing anything, which I found to be extremely weird, but the credit card companies would take care of everything. I decided not to take his advice and disputed everything on the credit websites that day. Monday comes along, and he calls me in asking if there's anything new on my credit since the other 2 have talked to him about their issues as well. I told him I disputed everything, and then he got pissed. He was enraged that I disputed it so soon and said something that caught my attention. "So it's you who is causing the holds." I later found out the company credit merchant account is now on hold for fraud. This morning I get called in again, and this time was given a written reprimand for my, quote, unsatisfactory performance due to my lower sales numbers for last month. I've never gotten a written reprimand ever at this job, and a separate one for unsatisfactory performance for a recurring customer canceling their subscription because they went out of business. I guess my question is, where do I go from here? I feel a constructive dismissal is coming on if the company doesn't go to business first. I'm also concerned about the credit card accounts, as I haven't heard anything back yet when I disputed them.
Get a lawyer.
Get a lawyer?
Get a lawyer. He's committing fraud.
Right.
And I would wait actually until he fires you.
So,
You'll have enough evidence, I think, to win.
So, top comment on the original post. File a police report. Most likely, you'll have to do this anyway to get the accounts off your report. $15,000 is a substantial enough that the issuer may refuse to remove it without proof. Honestly, you need legal advice at this point though, so that's where you need to go next. There are legal advice subreddits that may be able to help point you in the better direction. Document everything. Witnesses, times, dates, quotes, and email it to yourself. Get your resume together. Whether you're fired or not, the writing is on the wall. Start
Yeah.
looking for a new job.
Definitely.
And freeze your credit. Freeze your credit with all three major bureaus. Make an account on your state's unemployment website so no one else can make one in your own name when and if you're fired. Freeze check systems. There are a few threads on other subreddits with a good list of what to lock down, and here's a good place to start. So the original post was in May. We got an update coming in June 26th.
Okay.
Update. I no longer have a job. I received 3 more reprimands and was terminated last Friday. I went to the police a couple days after the original post. However, 4 other employees have also had their identity stolen in a similar way.
Oh my God.
We've all gone to the police, and last Monday a detective showed up at our office. He only ended up staying about 10 minutes. On Tuesday, someone else, who we think was an attorney, spent about the entire day in my boss's suite. On Friday, I was terminated, and at least a dozen other people were laid off, including the others I know have had their identity stolen. I'm going to take about a month to just chill before trying to find something else. I feel like I owe it to myself after the last 6 weeks at work. One of the accounts is now off my credit, and I expect the other one to come off any day now. It sounds like they're starting to come off my coworkers' accounts as well. I'm not sure what's going to happen next from here, but I hope my old boss gets what's coming to him. I'll start working on my resume next week, and I'm going to file for unemployment, even though I know he's going to fight it. I'll keep checking my credit daily as well to know for sure if the other card is going to fall off.
Yep. We saw it coming. What did he think the outcome was going to be? He was just going to be
Get
able
away with it?
Yeah, get away with it.
Like what?
Like, obviously, they're going to file a police report, and you're not going to be able to get away with it. Like,
Yeah.
and you're also going to be sued for unlawful termination.
Exactly.
So, you're you're just doubling down.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, you can only sue people if they're willing to give you money. It sounds like he's done, has no money, using other people's stolen money to just keep his company afloat.
I guess.
Paying for invoices and stuff.
Well, I'm sure he has assets. A house, maybe.
Yeah.
The court will go for that stuff, right?
If they can. Be a long ass process.
Yeah, but it's worth it. He fucked up your.
The nice thing with credit cards is Discovery is just like, okay, you didn't do it, we'll eat it. Essentially what happens, right? They'll try and charge back where the money went to, try and get that money back, but at the end of the day, they kind of got to.
I would hope so.
Well, that's what happens with credit card companies.
Yeah.
That they kind of have to eat it. It's like whenever we've disputed anything,
Yeah.
like the credit card will refund us, and then they'll try and get their money back from where they sent the merchant.
Yeah.
And if they didn't, they eat it. I mean, that's their business model. That's why we use credit cards.
Yeah.
Because we have that protection.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that protection, I just use my debit for everything. That's why I don't mind buying things online.
I use it for the points.
Well, yeah, that too. I was, doing some Facebook shopping, and I'm scrolling through Facebook, and then dirt bike gear pops up, and I'm like, this is crazy price. This is too good to be true. This is $100 for a $700 helmet. This is $150 for a $700 motocross boots. Like, this is too good to be true. But you know what? I'm willing to try it because I know my credit card company will give it back if this website turns out to be fraud. And it was, and they did.
When was this?
Well, it was a couple months ago. Remember I told you about it? I'm like,
I
hey,
don't remember.
I'm pretty sure this is a scam, but if it's not, it would be a crazy good deal. So then I placed an order, and then I never even got an authentic receipt. It was a confirmation order that was sketchy. And then I tried to right after the email, I was like, hey, you know what? Let's cancel this. And they never replied or anything. So then I told a credit card company, and they're like, okay. And then they just refunded it, and then they will do their fraud investigation.
I guess as a company like that, they make their money off of people who don't dispute it.
The credit card company?
No, the company you bought the helmet from.
Yeah, maybe.
But I would hope most people would dispute it.
You think so, right? Some people might.
It doesn't take that long to call a credit card company.
Some people might forget.
I guess. I know. We are really very diligent with our credit cards. We go through it every month and go through our transactions together.
And maybe once you purchase something with your credit card, maybe they would take that card info and then go use it against something else.
Oh.
Because once you purchase something, then they have all of your card info, right? They could then essentially any company that you give your credit card info to buy something, they could literally turn around and use your card to buy something else.
That's true.
Because they have all the info. That's fraud.
Yeah.
That's why companies don't do it all the time or ever, unless you're a scam.
Yeah.
But luckily I canceled and I got a new card within like a week. Because as soon as you start a fraud investigation,
yeah,
they cancel your card and they give you a new card number and everything.
Yeah.
They replace all your info.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super good. Alpine Star motocross gear never came in, guys.
Darn.
Sad.
Darn. All right.
Back to you.
One more for me?